everybody, welcome to episode 11 of Sweet Skein of Mine. My name's Amanda and I'm coming to you from Fredericton, New Brunswick. This is a knitting podcast. So welcome back anybody that's returning and anybody new. This is a podcast about knitting, things I've completed, projects that I have on the go, and I'm also an indie dyer, Sweet Skein of Mine. So yeah, welcome back everybody if you're returning. So yeah, it's Thursday, but it feels like a Friday because there's no school tomorrow and we're heading to Bathurst for a volleyball tournament. So that's kind of been my weekend life right now. Alex, my son, plays high school volleyball, so the past 3 weekends we've had tournaments, but anyway, it's always fun. And other than that, just got lots of knitting done. It's been a good 3 weeks since I've podcasted, so I definitely have some things to show you all. First of all, I want to show you my mug, and I'm sure you've seen it before, but it's my favorite, my knitting fuel that I got at Espastrico. So I'm just enjoying some strawberry tea. Anyway, so yeah, people that have been watching beforehand know I've been working on my Rivage. When we went to Espastrico after Christmas, it was a store sample that they had knit up, and I copied it, color by color. It was beautiful. So, and my palette. So first of all, here's the pattern again, the Rivage by Julie Hoover, and it's a pattern she designed for Brooklyn tweed. It's called a blanket stripe scarf and wrap. But for people that find it too much, like don't want like a big blanket style, this pattern also gives you a scarf version instead of a wrap version. So you could, sorry for the crinkling, so you could make something long and more narrow. But I chose the blanket style, and I'll show you what I did. So again, I used Brooklyn Tweed Loft, colorway Hayloft, Fossil, and Sweatshirt. And here it is. It's nice and big. So it's just a big, long rectangle. It's just a lot of knitting back and forth, following, you know, how many inches you do each stripe, but it's got this pretty finishing touch for the edging. And this Brooklyn Tweed Loft, after blocked, is just so soft and cozy. Yeah, the only thing I would suggest, if you don't own blocking wires, get some or borrow some. They make a difference, definitely, when this is wet. It really needs to be blocked with blocking wires just to get nice, crisp, clean, straight edges. So I did use blocking wires. And yeah, finally, I finished this like 2 weeks ago, but like last night I told my daughter, get outside, I've got to get some pictures and get some pictures posted of this. So I finally got pictures posted on my Instagram feed as well. So it's nice to have this done. I love it. So yeah, I recommend making it. It's an easy knit. Yeah, and you can't beat having a blanket shawl on hand all the time. Yeah, so I guess if you do follow my Instagram feed, you know that I have another finished object. Yeah, all the knitting back and forth kind of got monotonous, so I decided to grab a pattern that had a little more detail to it, just more of a pattern, something to mix it up a bit. So the Road Trip Shawl by Kemper Ray, Junkyard Designs. I've had this pattern on hand for a little while and finally picked it up. And I used it on this beautiful yarn. I'll show you the shawl and then I'll show you the yarn that I used. But anyway, here it is. And it's got a lot of detail that I don't know if it's showing up, very well, but and I definitely was concerned once I got going. I'm like, oh, should I be using such a busy colorway with such a busy pattern? But I'm really happy with how it turned out. So the yarn that I used is Fiber for the People. I follow her on Instagram and she has some beautiful colorways, so definitely check her out. She's got gorgeous yarn. She did a shop update before we went away on the March break, so I went on and grabbed some, and I got it in the merino cashmere nylon base, and it's the first time I've ever ordered anything with cashmere in it, and I absolutely love it. But this shawl is a really nice size, and it's so lightweight. It isn't fingering weight, but I guess you can see the pattern a little bit now. And it was a quick knit, but I'm just going to mention something because I know other knitters that have done this shawl have mentioned it as well, only because I had to troubleshoot on Ravelry. So it's not a glitch. It's definitely an awesomely well-written pattern, but just a suggestion. So if you do decide to make this, row 5, it has, you can maybe kind of get stuck on row 5. My advice is to ignore the right side and the wrong side wording. Like, don't worry about that. Does that make sense? Go on Ravelry and troubleshoot. That's what I did. And once you do, yeah, just ignore the right side, wrong side, and continue knitting, and you'll be fine. But it's, yeah, great pattern. I love it. I love the shawl. Love it so much. Yeah, had my daughter model this as well. So yeah, I mean, you can wear it like that. You could do this style. It's so soft. Anyway, she did a beautiful job with this colorway. It's just so pretty. So yeah, I have 2 finished objects. Very excited about that. What else? I don't know. I got it in my head I wanted to try striping yarn, not to sell, maybe, I don't know. It's hard to do that. Like, I'll show you what I mean. I decided to do like a little bit of striping experimentation just because I kind of thought, well, I kind of can figure out what to do with it maybe, but anyway, I don't know. It's so the first one I'm going to show you, I use like a lime, yellowy green, and hot pink and turquoise. And this is how it knit up. So I do not have any, like what do you call them, like warp boards, or those things that people use to wind it really tightly and then dye it, which clearly you have to do to get those nice crisp stripes going. Like Nomadic and Scrumptious Purl and Turtle Purl. Beautiful. Like you always get a perfect stripe. This is what I did. So it kind of turned out, but then look, you know, you've got these little blotchy marks. So these are just going to be socks for myself, so it doesn't matter. So I would never try to like sell that. Someone would definitely be disappointed in that. And then you've got to take into consideration gauge and stitch count, and anyway, but I just kind of played, and so that was one of them. I love the color combination of red and blue together, and I actually really, my mom loves this one. I think it turned out, actually I would put this one in my shop. I like that one, just red and blue. And then, and so I have a half finished object, and that is a sock with my stripe yarn. This one. So I guess this one probably turned out the best out of all of them so far. So it was fun. Like, I've still got more to knit up but I got really anxious to see what happens. Like, did I have like the measurements correct when I did dye sections? So anyway, this one turned out really well. I like it. With my heel flap and gusset. So one's done. I went to work on the second one yesterday. I cast it on and started knitting the cuff on my break at work, and oh my gosh, I did like maybe, I don't know, I want to say 4 or 5 rows. I clearly had a long tail on it because I was knitting with my cast on tail. I was so annoyed. So I swore a little bit and then I ripped it out. And then, so sock number 1 still doesn't have anything started for sock number 2, but it's gonna happen. I might cast it on tonight. And then something I'm gonna try also is these little 9-inch circulars I got from Cricket Cove here in Fredericton. Maria, my knitting buddy that works there, got them. And yeah, they're just the 9-inch Chowgu circulars. I'm gonna see if it works. I mean, I'm excited for it to go. I think it'll go a lot quicker. And then maybe not have this ladder thing going. No matter how tightly I pull my needles together, I still get that. So I'm gonna give these a try, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. So, and I've had a couple of other Instagrammers direct message me saying to try these, so I'm gonna give them a try. And what else? I feel like I have so much to show you. About a month ago, I follow Paradise Island. Patricia, she's a fellow Canadian. She makes the most beautiful project bags, and if you don't follow her on Instagram, you really should. Like, just, she'll do like little videos to show clips of the process of making her bags and the work that goes into them, the screening for her own logos, everything. So I've been eyeing her bags for a long time. Anyway, I sent her a private message just saying, I love your bags. This is just so random, but if you have any desire to do a product swap, let me know. And she got right back to me. She's so nice. We've never spoken in person, but her messages, you can tell she's just full of like a lot of life. And she's like, oh my God, girl, yes, go on, pick out a bag. I'll get it out to you. I love your yarn. I'll pick some out. And anyway, so that was such a like positive experience with her, because I was like, oh, if she doesn't want to, I get it, but why not? It doesn't hurt to ask. So, and I think a lot of makers should do that. I mean, why not, right? Product swap, it's fun, and support another Canadian. Anyway, so this is the bag I got. It says knit, and it's this gorgeous linen drawstring bag, which you know I love my drawstrings, but look at the detail that she adds. She has zippers. Oh, I love it so much. And then on the inside, she's got her little shop logo, Paradise Island. Yeah, so some of her bags have sheep on them. Some of them say Knitterati. She's got a few different things on the go. Beautiful bag. So this is a smaller version. So this is what I'm gonna start to house all my sock projects in. And yeah, so thank you, Patricia. I don't know if you watch this, but that was a lot of fun, and I'm so happy to be an owner of one of your bags. Inside my sock bag, I just keep this too. My little Kitchener stitch cheat sheet that I got at Espastrico. Yeah, if you don't knit socks for a month or two and you kind of lose that, where do I begin with my Kitchener stitch? I like having this on hand. So there, now I get a sock to finish, and I'm gonna try it in that, with the 9-inch needle and see how that goes. Patricia also enclosed this with her bag. How cute are these? Cozy squishy wool. And it says 100% handmade. So I could put these on like little presents that I knit for people. So pretty. Yeah, so a few things on the go. So I've got a half finished object. Something new I kind of did for myself, for my little indie dyeing company, is I decided to redo my ball band. The main reason, because honestly, the first one that I made right here, it didn't really ever speak to me, if that makes sense. It's super cute, and I'm happy I started with this one. with the little sheep, but I think the curly writing has always thrown me for a loop. I don't know what it is. I think I'm so drawn to crisp, clean lettering and pictures and everything, so I just switched it up, and I don't know if people like it any better or not, but I like just the clean typewriter print and just a simple little heart. Kind of looks like it was scribbled on there, so change is good, right? So I have new ball bands on the go. I do have a new colorway. I did a couple of new colorways. One sold out, so I can't show you. One was called Happy Hour, and it was just this whole bunch of really pretty colors all put together, and anyway, turned out to be popular. I only dyed a couple, but I'm going to dye more next week, so if anybody is interested, I'll have more next week. But here's another new colorway that I have. It's called Rose All Day, and just a tonal rosy pink, and it's so soft looking, and so I'm happy with this color. I think what I want to do is, if anybody's familiar with Molly from the Homespun House, she has a pattern called Windswept, and if you look at it, it's definitely a shawl that you would want to do in a solid color because it's got so much pretty detailing along the bottom, and it may even have a picot bind off, but I might have to look at that. Speaking of bind offs, I do want to say I learned something when I did this shawl. I did an Icelandic bind off, and that's the only thing about using this color. You can't really see a whole lot of detail, but anyway, I guess the purpose of an Icelandic bind off is that it's got some stretch to it. But yeah, so I did learn something new. Thank goodness for YouTube. I just, I go on that and you find a good tutorial and then it makes life easy, so there. So yeah, I might try the Windswept. I'm gonna get this colorway in, I think the pattern calls for sport weight. So yeah, so I'm gonna dye up some DK and make another shawl. Shawls are definitely my go-to happy place for knitting. I think the only thing I have not liked knitting since I've really gotten into it is mittens. I don't know why. It's like the thumb, or I've knit a couple, but I just can't, I don't enjoy the process of knitting. Maybe I will. There's so many pretty mittens up there right now, so. And I still have on the go the Easy One by Hohilo Catelli. And I have not done much on it. So, but I'm doing it in Brooklyn Tweed Truffle Hunt. And it's another loft. It's a really pretty yarn. It's this brownie gray. So I am working on that. I have not done anything with my penguono. Oh my goodness, I don't know why. We are going to the Knitters Frolic at the end of April. 7 of us? Is there 7 or 8 of us going? In my head for the past 2 months, that the penguono is gonna be like my sweater to wear for this little Toronto getaway with all these girls. So no, I haven't done any more on my penguono, but I'm going to, because I'm gonna have it finished. We leave April 25th, maybe? I have time, I can do it. I'm looking at it right now because I'm just like, ugh. So what else? I'm going to also knit the Vertex Unite, Stephen West. This has been on my to-do list for quite a while, so I frogged that shawl that I showed you last time that I was making out of my colorway Donut Kill My Vibe, because it was going to be too boring. And I love this colorway so much, and I want it to be in my vertices. So here's my color palette. I'm going to use this fuchsia, this mustardy maple color, and this like washed out brown, and this. I need one more color because it does say, I thought it did. Has it got 5 colors? Anyway, I can recycle one of them, but that's the game plan, is to get the vertices on the go. and make that. I think that's going to be super pretty. And so that's all that's all that's on the go for my knitting. So Dan was away for 3 weeks for work, and he went out west. Anyway, his sister had mentioned, if you by any chance are bored, here goes Teddy. He's gonna bark to go out. I think you guys should meet Teddy. Where is he? Nope, never mind. Yes, not. So, yeah, Dan was out west, and his sister mentioned, if you are free or bored or have a minute, to take time to go to River City Yarns. And anybody that watches the Grocery Girls has heard of this yarn store, the River City Yarns. And yeah, can you stop in and pick up something for me? Anyway, he did, and not only did he grab her what she had asked him to pick her up, he grabbed me some presents. So I have some yarn porn to show you, because I definitely got some really nice treats. So first off, what his sister had mentioned she wanted was some of this hat trick yarn. And Dan said it was so cool. They have a whole wall just dedicated to NHL teams. So this skein has, what is it? 510 meters. It's 150 gram skein of yarn. Anyway, yeah, it says made and hand dyed in Canada, the birthplace of hockey. Ancient Art Yarns does it. And Dan's hockey team is the Oilers. So he bought this and he wants me to make him a hat. And I love it. Isn't it pretty? Tracy from the Grocery Girls has mentioned this yarn before. Yep, there it is. There's the label. River City Yarns. So he kind of got that for himself. But then he got me these two. It's Adam and Eve. And this one's they're both so pretty. And you know what? Like, I had never used cashmere before until I got that Fiber for the People yarn. And this is cashmere. This is MCN, both of them. But look at that. It's pink and gray and almost mauvey. So I'm gonna make a hat and get one of those pretty brown fake fur pom-poms for it, for myself. Anyway, this Adam and Eve yarn, oh my gosh, it's so nice. And then look at this, it's blue and like a dusty rose with like navy. Oh, it's gorgeous. And it's so funny because Dan's a pretty big guy. Like, he's like 6'4", 6'5". Oh, maybe even taller. I don't know. He's tall. And he went into this yarn store after work. So he's this big guy. He's got his work boots on, work clothes and stuff. And they were probably like, oh, he's just gonna, what does he want? He's like, oh, by the end, they were really impressed. He's like, so what do you have for project bags? And what, can you show me this and that? And anyway, it's so funny. Like, I've got him in such yarn world lingo too. So he would have totally known what he was talking about, and it would have surprised these girls of this big guy coming in with his work boots on, buying cashmere. Too funny. He said the other night, I was working on the road trip shawl, and we were getting ready to go watch a movie, and he's like, are you still binding off? How many guys can say that? That's funny. Anyway, so he got me that, and the hat trick yarn, and then the big surprise was, and oh my gosh, I can't believe, like, he's so sweet and generous and nice, but look what else he got me when he was at River City Yarns. What's it called? Big Blue Momma. And again, I've seen Tracy from the Grocery Girls talk about these bags, and oh my gosh, look at the handles. Like, it's a significant basket. It's huge. And look, I love this so much. This was such a surprise and so sweet and thoughtful, and the yarn. So anyway, I got spoiled, and yeah, Dan's in knitting lingo world for sure. So yeah, I'd love to know what those girls were thinking after he left. Like, wow, he knew what he was talking about. Anyway, let me see. I think I've shown you everything I wanted to show you. I have my package ready for the wool swap. I'm going to send that out in the next couple of days. The only thing that was different, I think I mentioned last podcast that the wool swap was like the fiber share. Not so much. I mean, it is, but for the wool swap, you trade with the person and the person gives to you, instead of like the fiber share. You sent a person a present and then a different person sent you a present. With wool swap, it's just this one-on-one. So yeah, it's been fun to go on Instagram and learn about this person and her colors and her knitting likes and dislikes. So I put a box of really fun goodies together for her, so I'll mail that out soon. Yeah, and then, oh my goodness, Espastrico put out their new podcast the other day, and I watched that, and I'm just like, oh no, all the things I want to knit, all the yarn I want to buy. Holy, the rose cardigan, the new Andrea Mowry sweater. There's my pattern to start cables. I've never cabled before, so, and I believe it's a cuff to cuff sweater. Like, it's a cardigan, but you start at one cuff and go across, and then it's got like cables going up the arm. It's beautiful. So I want to do that, and I want to dye the yarn for it, because I haven't made myself anything besides the odd hat or shawl that is all my yarn, but I'm going to start with the vertices, all my yarn, and then I'm going to, yeah, I think I'm going to dye up a pretty palette for the rose. So check out the rose. That's on my to-do list. And what else? I can't remember. I decided not to do the pom-pom party slippers. The pattern looked really easy, straightforward, sweet end product, but I think for the yarn that it was going to take, and Chelsea and Sue mentioned this on their podcast, the Legacy Fiber Arts, that it's an expense knitting these slippers. I mean, I don't really like knitting with acrylic, honestly. That's just me, because I don't like how it wears. And anyway, I like using merino. So to invest in bulky merino, or even use worsted and double strand, any kind of yarns, the pattern took up a lot of yarn for a pair of slippers. I think I'd rather put it towards like a shawl or a sweater. So I'm gonna hold off on that. So other than that, that's all I have on the go. I get spoiled like Christmas around here. And yeah, I guess that's it. So I'm gonna finish up the sock. I'm gonna start my Vertex Unite. I'm gonna work on the easy one, and I think that's it. And get some more yarn dyed up. I just dropped off an order at Cricket Cove, and she sent me another order today. So I'm gonna have to fit a whole lot of yarn dyeing in when I get back from Bathurst. I go to Bathurst tomorrow just for the night for volleyball. So that's all I have on the go. Sorry, I'm so scattered. I have 100 things to do. It's my day off, but I've got to go conquer groceries and a million other errands. And that's it. So hope everybody's having fun and with your knitting and got inspired to maybe tackle one of these projects. And yeah, happy knitting, everybody. So I'll be back in a couple weeks. Yeah, I think I'll podcast before. No, I'll podcast after the Knitters Frolic. And for those that aren't sure of what that is, it's just in Toronto. It's a big marketplace. I don't think there's any classes or anything like that involved in this year. It's just a big marketplace, a whole bunch of vendors going. So a group of knitting friends and I thought that would be fun to take off and go take in a little getaway. So I'll do a podcast after that and tell you guys all about it and show my my acquisitions. So have a great weekend, everybody, and happy knitting. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.